Can one river keep two states at loggerheads for more than a century? The answer is yes. And its name is Kaveri. Every week monsoon, the Kaveri becomes more than just a river, it becomes a political flashpoint. And once again, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are locked in a familiar battle. The latest trigger? The Kaveri Water Regulation Committee has directed Karnataka to release 3,500 cusecs of water every day for 15 days to Tamil Nadu. Karnataka says its reservoirs are running low after a deficit monsoon. The state argues that drinking water for Bengaluru and several districts must take priority. It has announced that it will challenge the CWRC order before the Kaveri Water Management Authority, insisting there simply isn't enough water to spare. On the streets, farmer groups and pro-Kannada organizations are protesting. Many marched with empty pots on their heads, saying the state cannot release water when its own people are worried about drinking water and irrigation. Tamil Nadu, however, tells a very different story. The state says it has received only a fraction of the water it was supposed to get this season. It argues that delayed releases threaten the Kuruvai crop now and the Samba crop next, affecting thousands of farmers across the Kaveri Delta. Tamil Nadu is demanding strict implementation of the Supreme Court's 2018 order and the monthly release schedule. So what does this conflict return almost every year? Why does it return almost every year? The answer lies in geography and rainfall. The Kaveri originates in Karnataka and flows downstream into Tamil Nadu. In years of poor rainfall, both states claim the same limited water for different priorities. Karnataka for drinking water and its farmers, Tamil Nadu for agriculture and legally mandated releases. The dispute itself dates back to agreements signed in 1892 and 1924. Since then, tribunals, Supreme Court judgments and dedicated authorities have tried to settle the issue. But every deficit monsoon revives the same Kaveri water war. Now, with Karnataka preparing an appeal, Tamil Nadu insisting on compliance and protests intensifying on both sides, yet another chapter has been added to one of India's longest running interstate disputes, running almost into a century. I'm being joined at this point by R. Suresh Kumar, who's a senior journalist. Also being joined by Vijay Grover, a senior journalist as well as V. Subramaniam, who's a political analyst. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining me. Vijay Grover, a century-long war for water between two states. But are the political dimensions now changing? With the political parties and the changing equations there. Congress now in Karnataka, Congress now in Tamil Nadu with TVK. So is the animosity going to decline? But the protests on the street give a very, very different picture.
Well, good evening. See, as far as, the Kaveri issue is concerned, this is maybe the 9th time in the last 28 years that I've been reporting, both from Chennai and Bangalore, that I am seeing the intensity of the protests. And this is something which, what was the situation in 1999? We're looking at it again now in 2026. There seems to be no solution which is coming. We are all dependent on the rain gods. And we are all at the mercy of the rain gods. And that's a very sad state of affairs that though, we've seen technological advancements, we've seen the way things have changed, this issue continues to be unresolved because the issue comes up every 5th year or 6th year that we see that there is a drought or there is a shortage in rainfall. When it's copious, when it's flooding, nobody even thinks about the Kaveri, and this is how the issue is being treated by political parties, and that's a very sad state of affairs. Today, where we stand at this scenario, the CWRC order very clearly states 3,500 for 15 days. That is about 4 TMC of water to be released. The fact today is that Kaveri is practically dry. It's what we generally call the dead storage, and this is where the situation is. Even if 3,500 TMC of water as directed by CWRC's thing, most of it will not reach the Kaveri basin at all, where the crops are there, because the water river beds are dry, and the water would just percolate into the soil, and that's what is generally going to happen. Now, clearly, we need to understand one thing: there has to be a non-political, technical stance that needs to be taken by the central government, the state governments, because in this case, even Kerala is a party, and Puducherry, as we call it now, is a party. So clearly, everybody will have to come to the board and decide what needs to be done for a monsoon deficit year like this one, where we practically have just about 33% of the monsoon, which is till now effective. And if you see the storage, which is the KRS, it practically is nil. Beyond that, even the KRS will not be able to release water. So what happens now? Yes, we can have agitations, we can have protests, we can have everything, but will we find a scientific solution? That's something which is a very big task ahead of everybody here.
No, R. Suresh Kumar, do you see something change? Why I'm asking you that question is, um, there's a change in the chief minister in Tamil Nadu. This is an age-old protest. But, you've had a Tamil Nadu chief minister talk about chicken biryani in schools. I mean, it's not the chief minister, it's the government that's really looking at it. If that happens, it's going to be the first time that you're going to have non-veg being served in a school. You've had some very interesting things come out from that chief minister as well. How much of that really works out in reality we live to see that. But my question really is Tamil Nadu likely to look at what Vijay Grover is really saying? And it's not just about CM Vijay, it's also about DKS. DKS is Chief Minister DK Shivkumar is also known as a firefighter. He's also known as a crisis man to find solutions. Do you think there's a possibility in how this gets looked at between the two states?
Good evening.
Though the protests are bound to rise.
Good evening. The situation in Tamil Nadu is precarious now. The current situation as of today, the Metu Dam stood at 73.78 feet against the full reservoir level of 120 feet. The inflow was 131 Cusecs and the discharge was 1000 Cusecs. Because of the monsoon failure, there are lakhs of acres of land, paddy, has been affected across the delta region, right from Trichy, Tanjavur, Nagapattinam, Thiruvarur, Sirgali. These areas, districts are affected. The CWRC has asked the Karnataka government to release 3,500 cusecs of water daily for 15 days. That is about 4 TMC. Okay, that they have to release now. Otherwise, Tamil Nadu is in problem. I wish Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Mr. Vijay should convene an all-party meeting and with all the MPs should meet the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi in Delhi, and also on the Kaveri issue, and also there should be no work to be started in Megadadu. It will affect Tamil Nadu more. Already the farmers are protesting here for both the problems, Kaveri and also Megadadu. Let it not become a very complex matter on this issue. So I request Mr. Joseph Vijay to convene an all-party meeting, take all the MPs from the Tamil Nadu and also MLAs from different parties and meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Water Resources Minister. This is the only way you can tackle the Karnataka government. Congress here is playing a double standard. They are in alliance here with the TVK. And in Karnataka, they talk against. Because elections are 2 years down the line. And the BJP has also announced a protest in Mandya. So there all parties, Congress, BJP, JDS, all get together in this issue. Here in Tamil Nadu, all parties are not getting inside. That is only because of TVK. TVK should should bring in all the parties, opposition parties. They should convene a meeting, and the assembly session is going to start next month. In the assembly session, a resolution should be passed against the Karnataka government.
I do have a comment to make, but before I make that, I want to go to V. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam, when I was in,
Yeah.
I don't want to give away my age, but I remember several years ago, I read a book which changed the way India looked at drought, and that's Everybody Likes a Good Drought. Every political party stands to gain from the Kaveri crisis, and is that the ugly truth?
See, everybody wants to take advantage of, especially the interstate issue, even anomaly, so-called nationalist anomaly. Okay, so he was commenting in his Twitter handle, saying that during this parliament session, a respectable member asked about the whether riparian states, lower riparian state, has to give a consent for constructing the dam. The reply was stated that as per the Supreme Court has given certain verdict for certain conditions, for certain situations, right? So I said there is no specific provision in the Supreme Court order, okay, in 2018. But people forget that there is a CWRC, there's a DPR has to be submitted. DPR was originally submitted, it was returned. Now Karnataka is still under the preparation of DPR to be provided to the CWRC, right? So when the DPR is prepared, in that DPR, all the states, including the 4 states, right, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, and Kerala, those interests, all the states' interests has to be protected. Without that, CWRC will not give the grant of approval, right? So these are the, if you see in a 360-degree, okay, then you can get a right picture. But if you want to take advantage of political situation and put what you want to tell to the people, then you are not a real leader who are fighting for the people, or you want to take only the advantage of the situation. I will tell you, see, last year, actually as per the CWRC order, 177 TMC has to be given every year. Last year, Karnataka released 330 TMC, year before 305. 2 years back, it was drought, so 84 TMC, 85 TMC has been given, okay? So I think what both the leaders or both the state government chief ministers, fortunately, they are having a Congress support. One, the Congress is leading, here Congress is supporting. Rahul Gandhi is fortunately coming to Chennai, Tamil Nadu on August 1st. And Joseph Vijay and DK Shivakumar is scheduled to visit or meet on August 3rd. Okay, I think all the leaders should sit and talk. Okay, what is the issue now? Like the tribunal has given the order of 3,500 Cusecs. But 3,500 Cusecs will not reach the Belligundu interstate point.
No,
you have to release.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to release 7,000
Cusecs.
Cusecs. You have to release 7,000 Cusecs. Then only it effectively
Which is
go
not
to
there.
3,500. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, as per the order, tribunal order, 45 TMC you'll have to release in the month of August. If you do 3,500 Cusecs, it's only 9 TMC, which is 20% of the allotted water to Tamil Nadu. Then people have to really go into the problem. What has happened, the drop in the rainfall, how we can protect. It's not only today's problem, it will be solved overnight. No. So what are we going to do for the next couple of years? How we can protect the environment so that illegal construction of properties, cutting down the trees, how are we going to protect the forest, how we can improve the rainfall, all those discussions have to be constructively communicated between both the state governments and also along with the central government so that constructive solution can be obtained for the next decade. So what people are doing, yeah.
Vijay Grover, has there been ever a year when the tribunal's amount or the order for the release of the amount has been met during the monsoons?
Yes. Only in drought year we have this 84 TMC, which is the distress formula. But otherwise, it's a very sad state of affairs that in most years, when you have a good monsoon, about 90% of the Kaveri water flows into the sea. We have not invested in technology. That's what I said in the beginning. Mekedatu is being opposed for the fact that it's a reservoir which will become like a check balance kind of a thing in a drought year, where 4.5 TMC feet of water can be kept aside for Bengaluru and the rest can overflow. even in a bad monsoon, it can overflow and be regulated. That is something where the Meghtatu concept was. My friend Suresh Kumar was talking now that we all should, take against. The fact is, the politicians are enough to oppose each other's thing. There have been projects even during Jayalalitha's time, I remember, where check dams were planned down of Mettur Dam so that at least the water flow could be controlled. But nothing has happened. It's been like more than a decade since Jayalalitha went, and these steps have not been taken. So none of the states are willing to invest in anything and ensure that farmers don't suffer, drinking water, because the very clear instruction is that for agriculture it is the second right. The first right is drinking water, and that comes for the city of Bengaluru and for the city of Trichy. So that much has to be maintained. The first right over any water is for drinking water purposes. And as we discussed earlier, 3,500 TNC feet Cusecs is not going to help. It is not going to help because it will not even reach anywhere, as very clearly we discussed in the morning. It's like, if I have a glass of water, I will not let you drink. I will also not drink. I'll throw it into the soil. So this is the situation where we are facing today.
So,
So where
So, Suresh Kumar, just to take what Vijay Grover is saying forward, and I find it very fascinating because I did not know that this never happened. I did not read about it, and maybe that's why I did not read about it. That there's never been a committee that has looked into water conservation when it comes to Kaveri, whether it be about the water that's falling into the sea, meeting the sea for that matter, or during the heavy rainfall, when you have good monsoon, how to conserve water. Has there been no expert panel that has whatsoever looked at it from either of the states?
Yeah, Mr. Vijay Guru is right. The technology should be used now. It's a huge investment. Why don't you link the South Indian rivers, all the South Indian rivers, to start with? It's a massive outlay. But the union government should come out with some idea. They're spending on so many schemes. Why don't this is always
So I
for
think
the people.
it's unfair to put this only on the union government. Sure, they are also stakeholders on this, but so are the governments that have been elected by the states. And correct me if I'm wrong, governments have come and gone over this Kaveri issue.
No, the South Indian rivers should be linked. All the chief ministers should meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi and come to a conclusion. The South Indian rivers are linked. There will be not much problem. Each state can have their surplus of water in the reservoirs. It's a nice idea, but it is outlay is too much.
that outlay is huge. See, this year is a very, abnormal year where we have this El Nino effect. We're having about
super
60%
El Nino
shortage of
effect.
rainfall in Kodagu and 53% in Mysore region. So clearly, this is something which was anticipated. It's not that we didn't anticipate this crisis would erupt.
Right.
If a layman like me could anticipate, I'm sure the chief ministers and the governments of the two states had also anticipated this and should have taken steps to work. Very clearly, this is something where a deeper thought needs to go in and in tandem with each other. If rainwater harvesting was made compulsory, why was it not implemented? Maybe if rainwater harvesting in the metros had been implemented in a very strong way in the last 10 years when it was promulgated as an ordinance, I don't think so Bangalore would need that much of Kaveri water for drinking purposes. That itself. See, these are all things which do not need very high investment.
And if I may say, for chief ministers that are a very new age chief minister, if that's a word I can use, I think the outlook for politics has to change because developmental politics it has turned a new leaf completely. Mr. Subramaniam, totally out of time, but 30 seconds, 40 seconds, your last remarks on this.
See, if you want to be in power, especially in Tamil Nadu, you need to do a politics anti-BJP, anti-center, which DMK
But
was
I
doing
think
it.
the centre has a good opportunity to do what we are discussing
correct.
now in this case. They can jump in.
See,
I mean, it's going to be hard for any CM to say no.
No, problem is, see, I think the lower riparian states have got the right to protest or give their concerns so that it can be heard. Okay, so why are if now fortunately that both the governments are having a common thread called Congress. Okay, so why can't they come and discuss? As I told you in the first round, the last 2 years the rainfall were good and more than 300 TMCs they are given to Tamil Nadu. 2 years back only we got 85 TMC. Okay, now there is a drought is going to come now. It has hit everybody badly. So why can't we have a sit across the table, come to a common conclusion for the current year? And plan for the next few years.
I think that's very
what we have
important.
to do
I think
to
that's the
protect the
point that I would
environment.
really like to end. Channels after channels, papers after papers, we all have covered this very closely. I have been there in some of the drought years as well. It's very, very hurtful to be doing this year on year. However good politics this may be in terms of gains for some people, at least in the society, but this can see a stop. This can see a stop. I think India has reached that point where we can push for that stop. There are alternatives. I think both DKS as well as CM Vijay as well as Prime Minister Modi are three stakeholders who can really look at developmental politics from a very different angle. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining me and for your time.
Thank you.